The story begins by showing a drone flying over the rural areas of Afghanistan. Shortly afterward, a team of American soldiers begins to patrol the village. Everyone immediately hides behind their houses. This group of soldiers finds a suspicious man and is forced to kill him because he intends to pull out
3 seconds! All clear.
A member named Jake then reported the recent incident and requested permission to defuse some bombs there. Colonel Mason, who was the team leader, did not authorize the action, but Jack disregarded his orders. In the end, Jack did manage to defuse the bomb. However, it turned out that there was another bomb that exploded near them. In an instant, the situation turned around and cornered these soldiers. They were surrounded by all the villagers, who emerged immediately and attacked indiscriminately. One by one, members of this group died in the battle, leaving only Jack and Colonel Mason, who managed to survive. Long story short, 5 years later, Jack leads a normal life like an ordinary member of society. The last mission he undertook caused Jack to experience severe trauma, so he regularly takes tranquilizers to alleviate anxiety. Jack works as a mechanic at his uncle's car workshop. After work, Jack spends his leisure time with his small family. Despite their seemingly good life, Jack's family has many unpaid bills. To reassure his wife, Jack can only promise to settle all the bills while thinking of other ways to earn additional money.
Isn't exactly in a lending mood right now.
At night, while accompanying his child, Jack recounts his past experiences in the military. He is greatly impressed by Colonel Mason, who once saved his life on the battlefield. He also feels guilty for never contacting Colonel Mason since leaving the military.
Was actually at the hospital the day you were born.
Died. It's rack time, soldier.
Good night, Dad.
The next day, Jack encounters a group of gangsters. As he arrives at work, these thugs claim that his uncle, the owner of the place, hasn't paid them protection money. Jack asks them to leave peacefully, but they refuse and start attacking. Easily, Jack manages to defeat them. The gang leader promises to come back one day to retaliate for his actions.
Can I help you, gentlemen? What the problem is? You need to tell.
Round 2. I'ma see you soon.
At night, after returning from work, Jack sees the gang leader leaving his house with intimidating words. It turns out, the thugs have just killed his wife and child inside the house. Jack, discovering his family brutally murdered, is naturally devastated by this incident.
It's a bitch. Have a nice day.
Sometime later, as the police begin to arrive, Jack ignores them and goes to hunt down the ruthless gang that has annihilated his family. He visits a nightclub and kills all the gang members there. The gang leader explains that he did not intend to harm his family, but Jack doesn't care and continues to shoot him until he is dead.
Yo, take it easy. Yo, look, your boy. I had to. You don't know.
In short, 5 months later, Jack is serving a prison sentence for his actions. His days are spent imagining how his family was annihilated by the gangsters. One day, Jack receives a visit from Colonel Mason, who suddenly comes to visit. The old man offers help to free Jack, but he refuses. Jack admits he has no regrets for his actions and feels deserving of being in prison. He only asks Colonel Mason to leave him alone.
Well, it doesn't. It gets better with time, Jake.
Don't come back. Let sleeping dogs lie.
At night, Jack is visited by a stranger named Ramsey. He claims to be from a Special Forces unit and expresses interest in recruiting Jack. Unfortunately, Jack is not interested in the offer and chooses to return to his cell.
I'm the best thing that's ever happened to you. I run a small private task force.
I'm gonna stop you. Take me back to my cell.
Towards midnight, Jack is suddenly abducted by a group of people and taken to an open area. Apparently, the individuals who kidnapped him are a Special Forces team led by Ramsey. It turns out, Ramsey has been observing Jack for a long time and is intrigued by his abilities. The last military records show that Jack was dishonorably discharged for disregarding orders. Ramsey deeply regrets that a talented individual like Jack has to spend the rest of his life in prison. He provides a new purpose for Jack to consider joining their group by honoring his deceased son. Ramsey's words ultimately convince Jack to agree to join their team.
Hello again, Mr. Atherton. Turned into quite the family man, but no one can blame you for doing what you did. You had a temporary lapse in if your son Weston were still here.
Sometime later, Jack is taken to the secret headquarters of Ramsey's group in Washington, D.C. He is introduced to the members of Division 8, each named Elias, Ayak, Brunner, and Lisa. This covert group receives assignments from the National Security Agency to address various threats to national security. Comprising talented individuals with troubled backgrounds, they are tasked with handling critical missions. Considering Jack is a new member of the group, he is paired with Lisa, who will accompany him during missions.
Yeah, so what is this place?
Orders from the State Department and the NSA. Missions operatives, all of our equipment, top of the line. Let's get you settled in. Huh?
Can't wait.
After getting acquainted with the Division 8 group, he undergoes initiation by his new teammates. He is tested by Ayak to assess the strength of his abilities. In the process, Jack nearly overwhelms the members of Team 8, but fortunately, memories of his family bring him back to his senses. Sometime later, Jack is flown to Mexico and given his first mission to eliminate a man named Castillo. He is a national defense contractor selling weapons on the black market. It is later revealed that Castillo has the blueprint for a deadly weapon that he plans to sell to the Russians. Their transaction is set to take place in Mexico, and Jack is tasked with retrieving the blueprint documents. He is instructed to eliminate anyone involved in the transaction process.
Made his wealth by selling our weapons. They believe it's his intent.
Ramsey left that out of the job description.
At night, Lisa and Jack arrive at the meeting location. As the transaction unfolds, Jack quietly kills a guard, creating suspicion on both sides, thinking that there is betrayal. Both the Russian faction and Castillo's faction engage in a war to eliminate each other. Jack takes advantage of the situation by eliminating the remaining individuals, including Castillo. He then retrieves the weapon blueprint documents and allows the two women in the car to survive.
Fuck you.
After completing his first mission, Jack is scolded by Ramsey upon returning to the headquarters. The leader is baffled by Jack's actions of disregarding orders and letting two women live at the scene. Jack asserts that the two women are innocent, and besides, they have already obtained what they need, Castillo's weapon blueprint documents. Ramsey sternly warns that he will send Jack back to prison if he doesn't change his ways, but he remains indifferent to the threat.
Compromise the integrity of this mission, along with your own life.
Disregard all human life for you and this little fucking club of yours, huh?
Get me Locke.
The next day, in Nevada, a mercenary named Loki visits a hotel and disables several guards. He then enters a room and kills someone sleeping with two women.
Get up. Get out. You. Move.
Ramsey sent you.
Two.
After eliminating his target, the man then walks through the casino and is confronted by several police officers. He manages to defeat all the officers and escapes from the scene by stealing a sports car. Elsewhere, Jack visits his new home and begins to settle in. Since then, in the evenings, he spends time with Lisa at a bar. It is revealed here that his companion is a former soldier discharged for assaulting her commander. Jack then inquires about Ramsey's background, but Lisa says she doesn't know him well either. Sometime later, Jack and his team receive a new mission. This time, they are tasked with retrieving crucial information and assassinating a senator named Graham. He is a corrupt official who bribes various parties to evade legal consequences.
Senator's paranoid, but he's not stupid. Well, don't let the job title fool you.
It was with one promise.
Several hours later, Jack and the team arrive at an inauguration event attended by Senator Graham. Lisa, assigned to copy the data, begins to infiltrate and eliminate the guards. The other guards, realizing the attack, immediately secure Senator Graham. Jack, stationed outside, quickly pursues the senator's car and manages to intercept it. However, he is unable to eliminate the target due to feelings of mercy. His teammate, who arrives shortly after, shoots the target to complete their mission. Later, once he arrives home, Jack starts to be alone and reminisces about memories with his late wife. However, not long after, a group of strangers suddenly raids his house with fully armed weapons. Jack manages to escape through the back door and immediately seeks out Colonel Mason to tell him everything. According to Colonel Mason, the original Division 8 disbanded in the 90s. The current group consists of individuals expelled from the military, FBI, and similar organizations. They are a group with crucial connections to the White House. Therefore, if Jack poses a threat to them, he is in serious trouble. After that, Jack decides to return to his hometown in California. During the journey, he is contacted by Ramsey, who asks him to come, but Jack clearly rejects the foolish trap. Ramsey then instructs Lisa to contact Loki, who is now in Argentina. Ramsey assigns this ruthless agent to eliminate Jack.
We need you. Forces. Ramsey thinks he...
Where can I find him?
Sometime later, Jack finally arrives in California and meets with one of his son's friends. From the child's account, Jack obtains crucial information about the events leading to his family's murder by the gangsters. Apparently, they encountered some well-dressed individuals resembling secret agents. Unfortunately, at the same time, Loki across the street begins a blind rampage. He shoots people in public and kills 2 police officers who arrive. That night, Jack hides in his uncle's workshop to evade pursuit. He is grateful for this man who has taken care of him since childhood. Shortly afterward, his team members start arriving to hunt him down. With the help of Mr. Bam Bang, Jack manages to eliminate 2 of his team members. He then confronts one of the Division 8 members who challenges him to a hand-to-hand fight. In the midst of the desperate situation, Jack receives assistance from Lisa, who comes to his aid. The next day, Jack and Lisa arrive in the Montana forest area to locate Ramsey. Unfortunately, Lisa turns out to be a traitor and captures Jack to bring him before Ramsey.
Jake, I'm here now.
Several hours later, Jack wakes up in a room, bound and surprised. Ramsey then reveals a small shock that leaves him greatly astonished. Colonel Mason turns out to be collaborating with Ramsey and Division 8 for a specific purpose. This revelation is truly shocking, and Jack never expected the person he admired all this time to betray him.
Life in Afghanistan.
My wife.
Second chance at life in Afghanistan.
Afterwards, Mason hands over the payment to Ramsey as agreed. The leader of Division 8 plans to eliminate Jack because he is deemed useless while they are busy counting the money. Quietly, Mason returns to Jack to set him free. It turns out, Colonel Mason did not betray him at all. He was merely carrying out a government task to destroy Division 8 from within. The two then collaborate and eliminate all incoming guards.
I was contracted to bring down Section 8. Because if I would have told you, it would ruin the plan.
Colonel Mason and Jack then confront Ramsey and Lisa. They engage in a fierce shootout, and Mason ultimately dies after protecting Jack for the second time.
That's twice to save you now.
Lisa then comes to end it all, but unbeknownst to her, her ammunition has run out. Nonetheless, she remains defiant, and Jack ultimately kills her to stop the resistance. Not stopping there, Jack now begins to hunt down Ramsey, who is attempting to escape. Another shootout ensues during the pursuit, and Ramsey finally surrenders after a significant crash. He has to face his end at the hands of Jack, who dispels any doubts and shoots him until he is dead.
You must be thinking, how did it come?
Always hesitant.
At night, the Attorney General named Martin Sapoe comes to meet Jack. He expresses gratitude because Jack has taken care of Division 8, which was reported to betray the country. Martin offers a new job for him, but Jack declines, stating that he no longer has a purpose in life. Before parting ways, the Attorney General gives him his business card, telling him to reach out if Jack ever changes his mind.
Colonel Mason. Now, the politics just went too high up the chain. Today was a victory. I'd like you to track me down.
Afterwards, Jack returns home and is greeted with a gun pointed at him by Loki, who has been waiting in the living room. This relentless man seems unwilling to stop hunting Jack even though his superior, Ramsey, is already dead. A fierce confrontation ensues between them, and Jack struggles against Loki. In the end, he kills him with a pistol as he is unable to overpower him barehanded. The next day, Jack sends a thank you message to Mr. Bambang and bids farewell before leaving the city. During the journey, he is reminded of his family again when he sees a mother with her son. This changes his mind, and eventually, Jack accepts Martin's offer for the new job. The story concludes as Jack is accepted to join Division 9,